This week's podcast is based on Shorties 75, where we talk about One Piece memorable moments. Alright, podcast time. This round is just you and I.
Yeah.
It's just you and I.
Something fresh.
Something fresh, something new. So, what you got in today in Japan?
Oh, okay. Today's today in Japan from my side is going to be quite sensitive, but it's going to be very interesting. Why? Because all this while my pattern on sharing today in Japan will be about crime.
Yeah.
So today it's the most heinous crime ever in Japan.
It's the most heinous crime.
It's been a while that we got a serial killer from Japan. So today, it's gonna be about this.
Somebody's gotta die.
Yeah, a lot of people is gonna die. 9,
Okay.
as a matter of fact.
All right.
So there's this one guy. He's called. His name is Takahiro Shiraishi. He's a 27-year-old guy, and he lives in an apartment. He's a loner. You know those type. It's like once you get to see them, you kind of know this guy. Even though he's super polite or whatever, there's something just wrong with him.
You can't really trust someone who is really polite anymore.
Yeah,
Like in this society where there's like so much hate and so many things that will agitate you. If suddenly you see this guy who is polite, you kind of get the impression that, actually behind the scene, he's probably not so. There's probably a dark side hidden to it. Okay, so what's up with this Takahiro guy?
Getting to the meat of the story, no pun intended.
All right.
Okay, this guy, he basically killed 9 people.
Okay.
8 of them are females and 1 guy.
Okay.
So what he did is he actually invited them to his apartment, killed them over there. And then the way he gets rid of the body is he dismembered them.
Okay, so are they like friends?
They're not friends. They're strangers. Actually, he meets most of his victims from social media.
So let me get this straight, right? Like, so Japanese people who are sort of known to be really tough to make friends, as in like really hard to make good connection, and he, who is a Japanese himself, just so happens to be able to invite like 8 people to his house.
The angle here is the catch is he targets victims who are depressed and having suicidal thoughts.
I see.
So how he relates to them is he posts his suicidal thoughts in social media.
So they kind of become friends. From there.
Yeah. So there's one article says that he even shared his suicidal thoughts to this other victim, and then he even say like, let's commit suicide together, So that's one of his technique. It's like, come to my place. There's no cleanup required. Stuff like that. So how it's kind of sad for the families of these victims, because they just lost their family member just like that. Before they were missing, and now when the news comes out, they can't even recognize the body.
How were they dismembered?
They were cut into pieces and stuffed inside the refrigerator.
This is so.
This is some like Dexter shit.
Yeah,
man.
this is exactly it.
Yeah. It's so scary because this guy is like, his victims. The youngest one is 15-year-old.
My
15-year-old high school girl. And then the oldest one will be like in their mid-20s. And the first victim, I forgot how old she is. I think she's around like 20 or something. I kind of forgot. She went missing. And then the boyfriend kind of saw like that the serial killer with the girlfriend last, and maybe from social media he detected, this guy is talking to my girlfriend and whatever. And went and approached this guy in his apartment.
The plot thickens.
And then he got killed. The boyfriend got killed.
So that was the one guy.
Yeah, that was the one guy who was the second victim. And then like, the rest is just goes on like this.
I don't get it. I mean, like we haven't really get into the depth of the story. Like, what's the motive of this Takahiro guy? But if that girl is having a girlfriend, I mean, if that girl is having a boyfriend.
Right.
why would she be part of that? I mean, like, why? I mean, she should be happy, right? I'm not saying like people who have boyfriends or are in a relationship should be happy, but
Right.
I think these are the people who are.
These are the people you approach to talk to when you have like you feeling down or what.
Yeah, you got your
yeah,
partner to talk to,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
But you know,
Yeah, I don't get that part as well. Like maybe she, Japanese have this tatemae thing where
yeah, maybe
they need to put up a front, in public and all that. Maybe this girl is like, I don't want to burden my boyfriend. I'm not feeling any better.
Wow.
Maybe I can talk to someone who experienced this, like who can relate with me.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's how it goes.
I'm just thinking like, how much effort this Takahiro guy puts into organizing this party.
Oh, I don't know, man. But I can tell you, he spent hours sawing those body parts.
like can you imagine if it's like I like to think like people who can orchestrate this kind of stuff. I mean, like this is on another level because you're talking about murder, and if you want to talk about murder, you don't want to get caught unless you want to try to get caught
Yeah.
by making it easier. But I like to think that people who orchestrate this kind of stuff, they have this huge and high level of detail. Their IQ is like through the roof and stuff like that. So they can't let anything goes like, half-heartedly. So I can imagine like if he were to set up this, he meets this party, these people, and she's like trying to organize and get them to come into this party. And you were saying social media, he'll be setting up like a Facebook event page. And,
By the way, he targets them one by one. It's not like he organized a party and kill all of them.
I was about
It's like, that's like monster kill, man. It's like,
I was about to think that he said he goes to Facebook and it's I know Japan is not high on Facebook, but let's just say Facebook, all right? He goes to Facebook. He sets up this party page, this event page,
right.
and he invites his people, and in order to invite people and get people to click the yes rather than interested, he writes a description. This is the party that is surely going to kill you.
Steaks and hamburgers on me. Oh shit. Oh man, that's so wrong. But yeah, it's kind of disturbing, and they actually caught this guy a few weeks ago, which is like late October.
Okay.
And he confessed on committing all this crime.
All right.
Yeah, and that's just fucked up, man.
What's his motive?
I don't know. He is suicidal, so I guess he's depressed.
It's one of those things where if you're gonna go down, you might as well go down in a blaze of glory. I'm not saying murder is glory, but it's sort of like when you play video games and let's just say you. I don't play a lot of games, but I play this thing called Roller Coaster Tycoon. Or even The Sims, It's sort of like you built this perfect place. Let's talk about Sims. It's like you build this perfect home. Everything is in order and stuff like that. And then before you want to quit the game, you thought of like, maybe I want to see a little bit of chaos and not saving the game. So maybe perhaps I start a little bit of fire here. Let's start a little bit of fire there.
Just to see how they react.
I think probably there are this kind of people, like if they're already like feeling that I'm gonna die anyways, I might as well do something stupid. Wow.
Right. I guess for me, if I were to relate to this guy, not saying that I can relate, but if I were to speculate how I think this guy wants to do it, I think he just wants recognition. All his life, people has been ignoring him. So this is his way of telling people like, hey, I exist.
Yeah.
By killing
people. I exist by removing your existence.
Yeah.
And therefore, your existence becomes part of my existence now. So.
I'm so powerful now.
That is some crazy shit. Yeah. Where does this guy stay again?
He stays in Kanagawa Prefecture.
Okay, so it's still
somewhere around Tokyo.
So it's still part of that. It's still part of that places that location that
exactly.
you've always been talking about. All this
exactly, man. It's like around Saitama, nearby Saitama.
If this goes on further, we could probably create a separate podcast on
Yeah, just crime. Talking about like crime in Japan.
Crime shit. Just crime shit on Japan. Okay, moving on. All right. Okay, since you're talking about like how how the stuff that you tend to look into are like crime. That's the stuff that I tend to look into somehow, I don't know, world news or something like that.
Right.
And the hardest thing that has been going around, of course, without a doubt, still is probably, I would say, one of the hardest thing going around as well after some time now is Donald Trump.
Right.
So Donald Trump just recently paid visit in Japan. So he visited his man, Shinzo Abe. Shinzo Abe. So this one video that just went viral. Basically, they were feeding the fish, and Shinzo was like holding his box that is filled with fish food for koi fish. And Donald Trump is having his box as well. But in that little short video that was released first, we see that Donald Trump just sort of, if you want to put adjective, impatiently pours the whole koi fish seeds or food or whatever into the fish. And then it just got like put social media on frenzy because everyone starts to say like, Donald Trump is just impatient and stuff like that. And then this guy on Twitter, his name is maybe I shouldn't name his name, but he was tweeting and says, koi don't have very good impulse control in that regard and will probably overfeed and become ill as a consequence if no one cleans that up. So Abe is basically watching in polite rage horror as the epic orange buffoon tries to kill his fish.
Oh shit.
So people are like going crazy. It's like, it's like, this is typical Donald Trump, it's just that guy again, very disrespectful. Not respecting other people's culture. And then a video released later on that Shinzo Abe did that first. Oh man.
Okay. Oh no, it's so embarrassing. I when it first released, I heard.
Oh, you saw that?
I heard news of this because I don't really follow politics as much.
Yeah.
But I hear it from other people,
Yeah.
and they were saying like, "Oh, Donald Trump this, Donald Trump that." Like, America is so embarrassed. My president can't even eat fish, stuff like that. And they were posting this one very famous photo, the moment where Donald Trump just dumped all the food, and then Shinzo Abe is like looking at him like, and then they were doing memes of like them talking about, hey, so well, what's the next plan on like North Korea?
Exactly.
What's the nuclear weapon going on? Like stuff like this. When should we initiate the plan?
Where should we nuke it?
Yeah. So it became a meme, and I don't know. I just feel that Donald Trump is just creating all this news.
The thing is that, it just kind of proves to people like, what he says is kind of true. Like people are like talking bad about him, and I did see this one signs like why people are talking about Donald Trump so much, because of like people just love hating him, and that just creates so much media about him because there's so many things to talk about him because it's not your typical I don't know what president kind of guy.
Right.
But I can't imagine how those people feel when they just go all out like this guy who tweeted, who's Japanese by the way.
Right.
I just say it's like this guy is just so. And then seeing that video release, my God, it must be embarrassed.
There's one guy who posted in Twitter. He posted a quote, a Twitter post from Donald Trump like years ago before he even was running for president. He was saying that politics is for stupid people.
Yeah.
And if you see me running for president, somebody please shoot me. That's what he wrote.
My God.
And then this guy reposted his tweet, and it got like a lot of attention. But for me, the way I see it, like people change their opinion all the time.
Of
so
course.
you can't like just say I love this person, I'm gonna marry her, and then grow old with her together. But along the way, unfortunately, some things happen, and you see this person differently. So your opinion change.
We can't really play this. We can't really play this podcast to your future wife, Dad.
Oh yeah.
Well, so that's today in Japan. Let's move on.
Let's move on to like
Shorties 75.
Shorties 75. This is how we roll. So yeah, the gist of this Shorties is like the premise is Anakin and Akira is stranded on a lifeboat.
Yeah.
And then they're trying to survive.
Yeah.
And how it goes is you see some crazy shit Akira did on his part where he just asked like Anakin like, man, I'm hungry, are you hungry? Then Anakin says like, yeah, I'm hungry too, What after that what happened after that?
Well, basically there's like no food. and all of a sudden he just takes a rock and like smashes it on his leg. It's like, and if anybody knows, and I don't think anybody would know because this is basically a scene from One Piece.
Yeah, it was reference from One Piece, which the
Which,
two of us are
yeah.
big fan of, you know.
And Wilson inclusive too,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
all three of us are like huge fans of this franchise. So this is basically what inspired it. And
Yeah.
and as we were doing this the Shorties, it's one of the funny things that pop up was like, where the fuck did he get that rock?
Yeah, exactly. Has he been hiding like a large rock behind his back on a lifeboat? And it's sharp, by the way.
Yeah.
And the way he smashed the rock on his leg, which
You know,
is...
I think this is sort of like where the humor comes. Like, you know, it just introduced this element. I mean, there's absolutely no logic to it. Like,
Right,
to have
right.
that piece of rock coming in. But another thing that I like about the strip is that the part where it says Akira says there may be some rice will make it bearable. For some reason, okay. Besides the crazy fact that he puts his feet, I mean, like the shot of Akira is kind of cute. You know.
It is.
Yeah, it's kinda cute.
I purposely did it that way, so he looks innocent. You know, it's like
Yeah.
nothing's wrong with what I'm doing. You know, this is normal. You know?
And I think his head is sort of like made bigger, so he kind of has that. Is
yeah,
it, right?
yeah. I made it like maybe 10% bigger. Like that. I wanted to emphasize on his concern expression towards Anakin. You know,
Yeah.
it's like you're hungry. You know, I have like rice.
I think out of all the shots of the Shorties, probably this is the shot that made me feel like, hey man, Akira can be cute. You know, it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's pretty cute. And another cruel thing out of this Shorties is that this is the one that you probably heard me saying in the other podcast. If you want to know where it came from, as in where when I said don't Google raw feet and where it came from,
yeah,
it came
yeah.
from this Shorties because I wanted to find some references on how it is, and when I Google raw feet, basically if you see the real life aspect, it's like don't man, it's like it's super disgusting.
Yeah, it's gonna traumatize you, man.
Yeah, but pretty much this Shorties is the Shorties that inspire us to do this podcast today. It's we are big One Piece fans,
Yeah,
and
and we pick those memorable scenes or
Memorable
instances
moments,
from
yeah.
One Piece and try to incorporate it in our shorties.
you know the thing about this topic is that it's so huge
Right.
because you talk about a franchise that has been going on for I don't know 15 years.
I don't know. Maybe it's close to 20 years.
No, it couldn't be right. Could it? I mean, like we're like 20. We're like
Almost 20 years. It started out in 1996, if I'm not mistaken.
oh that is oh I didn't know One Piece was a 90s product.
Yeah, it's a 90s product.
Holy shit! I thought I thought One Piece was like a millennium product.
Oh no, man! It's the manga started out in 1996. I think it's those one shots that Eiichiro Oda did to get a serialization from Young Jump, which is a weekly magazine for them. So I think he pitched that, and then he got serialized, and he started his series from 1996 all towards like now. You know.
Wow.
So it's like almost 20 years.
You know, he pretty much got the job for life, man.
Mm.
That's a good thing about pitching. But talking about One Piece, the thing is that you know if you kind of take a moment to stop and think, sometimes you'll be like, what is it? I don't really have anything to say,
Right,
so
right,
I
right.
stop and think. But in One Piece, it's sort of like you stop because I mean, at least I stop
Right.
because there's just so many things to talk about.
Correct. Like there's so many interesting things that happen. You know, not just the backstories of the characters,
Yeah.
but like the events that leads towards the flashback. You know, it was like so well done. The events that happens and the events that we foresee is coming. You know,
Yeah.
those hints and pieces. The other background character that plays a good role in the series.
All right. So you were saying like hints and pieces, right? I got this one speculation. I'm the kind of guy that I don't watch any One Piece anime, but I read the manga really religiously.
Right.
And one of the hints that you're talking about, I didn't read any other potential discussions on forums, but one of the things that I felt that possibly a character that I kind of feel it's gonna come out. So we talk about Goldie Roger, right?
Right.
And then you talk about Silver Rally. I just get this feeling that there's gonna be a third guy who's gonna begin his name with bronze.
Oh man,
I don't know.
you just blew my mind. I didn't think about this.
Wait, really?
Yeah. Oh, holy shit, man! Like,
Right, yeah. I mean, it's not that the Goldie Roger is spelled in a gold as in Gold and then a D. It's just GOL. So and if Silver Rally has silver hair, I think he has silver hair.
Yeah, he has silver.
Yeah, there must be a bronze guy.
God damn it, man! It's like,
Yeah.
yeah. I think they will intro a third person.
Yeah, they
I
have
think so.
to.
I think so. Maybe the third person is Whitebeard. I don't know, but they like, because they've been showing scenes before in the manga where Goldie Roger and Whitebeard is good friends because they have the same value that they hold on to, which is family.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but it doesn't fit, Whitebeard.
Yeah, it doesn't fit. I mean, like, his name is too big to be like, if you talk about Shanks and Buggy and you talk about like they are apprentice in the ship, then it kind of makes sense because they are like a generation of pirates. I mean, their names are not bigger, the status, the stature. But you talk about Whitebeard, he's too big to suddenly come to a point or a storyline where you say, oh, he's part of the Goldie Roger crew. He's too big. He got to be on his own. And all right, so we know a couple of people. Let's talk about Goldie Roger a bit because I think over the years there's some hints that comes out. Let's talk about the people who are in there for a while. Just a quick one, a quick shout out. It's a collection of people that's inside. We know Silver Rally's inside.
Yeah. We know Shanks is inside.
We know Buggy's inside.
Buggy is inside.
We know the guy who Crocus, I think. The guy who, as soon as the Straw Hats, I don't even know if I should call him Straw Hats or Mugiwara pirates. Yeah.
Right. Oh, the doctor. You mean the
doctor?
With the flower head.
Yeah. So he's inside. Then there's also the guy who builds the ship, which is.
What was his name again? The one that they met in Ines Lobby.
Yeah.
Frankie's adopted dad.
Yeah.
If I think.
Oh, he wasn't inside, is it? He just built the ship.
I think he just built their ship.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, a lot of cool stuff to be uncovered, man.
A lot of legendary people. It's like this is what I love about One Piece lore. It's so vast and a lot of connections. Ichiro Oda don't just create a character and let it die. He does do that, but not so often. He will try to make a connection in the future, make use of this character more. So that's why I like this depth in the character. But unfortunately, it's not all of them. So some just dies in the background. It's quite sad.
I just like how, like the brilliantness. This is, not only brilliant, but the commitment, because you talk about like how they put a whale in the beginning of Grand Line, and then it links to Brook, and even little things that we saw how Brook's crew, his captain, he went to some kind of forest. He got the Captain York, which is Brook's captain. He died of some kind of disease, and they did insert a line that I read was that inside the comics, which is he died because he got a disease that is in the jungle. They got it from jungle, and then if you read it recently, as in like you read it as you start to revisit, then you will probably see that the way they drew the disease that the Captain York has is actually the same disease that was in Jaya Island, which is the Skype Island where I forgot what's his name, Membrane, the guy who has an onion on his head.
Right.
He has to cut down trees because the trees are the ones that infected. He gives the village the same. It's the same disease. So that's the brilliantness. That's the commitment level. Of like trying to tie things loose, tie things up.
Wow, that is very amazing. Like maybe another person will like us. The fans. It's like. We're thinking, this is such an amazing plot device, to progress the story. He reuses, he planned this all along,
Yeah.
He already created this story, but in reality, it's like Ichiro Oda said, how do I kill this guy? Oh yeah, I created the disease. Let's just use that again.
Yeah, that's kind of. I guess that kind of sounds familiar. How we were doing things in our shorties.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the thing. We're like about 20 minutes in, and we still haven't been able to start what we really want to talk about. Okay, let's let's talk about what we want to talk about.
Okay, I'll go first.
Okay, you go
I'm
first.
selfish.
Yeah.
So the first memorable moment for me in One Piece was when Zoro first fought with Mihawk and he lost.
My God.
And then it's like he's dying, bleeding and all this. And Luffy was busy fighting Don Krieg, I think. It's the golden armored guy. So
Yeah.
so Luffy was fighting this guy, and Zoro was like lying down, like dying, coughing blood and all this. Then he just raised his sword and he cries. That's the last time I see Zoro cry.
Yeah.
And then he just say like, Luffy, like your ambition is going to be like the king of pirates,
Yeah.
So you need someone like at the same caliber next to you. So I'm gonna be like the strongest swordsman ever, and this is the last time I'm gonna lose. From here onwards, I'm never gonna lose again.
It's very noble.
That just struck me right here in my soul, man.
Oh God.
Shit, it's just the tears, the expression. It's so good.
There are a lot of moments in the whole story that repeats this theme, and I'm not saying repeat as a bad word, but it's so good, and each time they do that, it gets better and better. Because this is probably, I don't know, my top moment, and if you allow me to move forward, because there's so many things to go from there, is the same moment where Robin was captured by the CP9. Rob Lucci guys and stuff like that, and the whole backstory of Robin plays, and then it starts to go into a persuasion level where the guy, the Straw Hats guys are like asking her to come back alive. Luffy was like saying, I don't care what is it that you feel, that whether you want to die or you want to live, but you do that and you worry about that once we save you, because we're gonna come and save you. And the shot whereby all of them just stands at that building, the top of the building, it's just so, holy cow, I want that same people, in my life. That's fucking good.
Oh shit, that line was when Luffy was shouting to Robin saying like, what do you want? Tell me what you want.
Yeah.
And then she just screamed like, I want to live. Tears is coming out of my eyes. It's the feels. Oh my God. I'm literally crying right now when I'm talking. It's so good. God damn it.
I want to go away from a while for a while and just want to talk about like Japanese culture is so embedded with anime and manga and all these characters, and one of the things that they have inside, which to me is sort of the same as a Pixar movie, is that they have this ability to move you.
Yeah, they call it the heartwarming genre.
The heartwarming genre, and I don't even know what this One Piece genre is, because there's like, I don't know, action or fiction.
It's action. Actually, adventure.
Action, but they mix it so well. And I like the fact that there's romance to it, not as in like a guy and a girl romance, but this romance that gives you this heartwarming feeling. Because I just read this one part. I'm catching up again so much, and I was reading this end of the story, Thriller Bark.
Right.
Thriller Bark or Thriller Back?
Thriller Bark.
Thriller Bark, and it was after Luffy defeated Gekko Moria, and then Bartholomew Kuma comes in.
Right.
And then everyone's down because he had used his power to create a suction of air that just released this huge power that wipes everyone's consciousness out. So he was about to take a Luffy, and then Zoro, who has been trying to defend, trying to fight him before all this happens, says, I can no longer fight you because my body doesn't move the way I want it to anymore. So my request is that you take me in instead of taking him in. And he says, my name may not be the most notorious yet.
Right.
I may not be like the one that is feared by the world yet, but in time to come, I will be
the strongest one.
I will be the strongest one. So take me instead, because Luffy will be the one to become the Pirate King. And wow, now I'm having tears in my eyes.
The feels. And then what the genius thing that Bartholomew did is like, okay, I will accept your request, but I'm gonna take half of his pain that he's been enduring his entire life.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put it to you. If you can endure it, I will let you guys go.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what he did. He just did this like paw thing that just extract the pain that Luffy has been experiencing his entire life. Like he took half of it and slowly pushed it into Zoro's body. Oh shit, then he was like screaming and all that.
Yeah.
So the next day they all woke up and see like, Zoro, what the fuck is wrong with you? And he's like dying over there. He didn't want to say anything. So it was very noble of him. Damn, man.
It was. I mean, Zoro's the man.
Yeah, he is the manliest man.
He's the manliest. He's the manliest man. Oh my
I
god.
want to sidetrack a bit. You know, it's funny how we see the crew. You know, top three strongest crew in the Straw Hat crew is of course Luffy, Zoro, then it's Sanji.
Yeah.
But I always feel that Sanji is the most resourceful. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's not just all bronze like Luffy and Zoro. You know? He has brains.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
strategizes. He thinks about what's gonna happen if this thing leads up to that thing, you know. And he can do a lot of things. You know?
Yeah.
He's the cook. Without the cook, who's gonna fucking cook the food?
Well, okay, that's not fair because I gotta defend on someone else like Frankie, who is like, it's a shipwright, you know,
Right,
you can't
right.
rely on Uso. But I do agree with what you're saying. Like, I think the thing about Sanji that makes him special on his own way is that, well, not only can he fight,
Right.
but he's not really exactly there to want to be the fighter.
Correct.
He, as in, like, you talk about Luffy who wants to be a pirate king, and of course we know the package that comes along with it.
yeah.
And Zoro obviously say he wants to be the greatest swordsman or greatest warrior or something like that. But Sanji doesn't really have that aspiration.
Correct.
You know?
Correct.
Yeah?
He just wants the best ingredients in the world
Yeah.
to cook. You know.
So when he faced in like a really bad situation, his strategy is not to head on and fight this guy because
Yeah.
from what I know is that every single story and every single adventure or an island that he goes to, he's more concerned in getting the job done in terms of like maybe if it's like getting a key,
Yeah.
maybe if it's
correct.
like, you know, getting another different solution. Yeah, he'll fight along the way, but he's more concerned in doing the other thing.
Yeah. I like his persona when he's smart. You know, he calls himself Mr. Prince. Yeah, it's so lame, but he always rescues the damsel in distress.
Yeah.
But he plays it like right, you know, he
Yeah.
is very smart.
Yeah.
I remember one moment where they went to the giant island, and at that time it was leading up to fighting crocodile.
Yeah, man, good story.
Baroque Works or something,
Yeah.
the organization names. So he was playing the spy role, like they have the snail
Yeah,
thing. Where
yeah.
They were talking like crocodile was talking like, who is this? You know, Mr. 13 is not responding.
Yeah.
He said, I'm Mr. Prince.
Yeah,
you know,
Mr.
like,
Prince. Yeah.
then he extract like information from crocodile. I don't know how he did that. I don't quite remember. But yeah, that's one of the moments where he uses brain to fight.
Yeah.
And I think the next one that I remember was it's a big fight with CP9. They were in Anus lobby and they were escaping.
Did you just say anus lobby?
Isn't it in Anus lobby or something?
Oh yeah, no, I just heard it like anus.
Oh, anus! Oh boy! No,
I mean
the spelling is.
to be fair, I don't know how to pronounce
Right,
like
right.
most of the words, the names that they write over there. Like I mean, even when you say
Right.
baroque,
Right.
because they're Japanese, so I don't know what's
Yeah.
like baroque or whatever.
Ichiro Oda, you cheeky bastard! You
Alright.
made me say anus.
Okay, so back to what you were saying.
So
sorry.
they were fighting, you know. Then Sanji is trying to strategize. How do we escape? You know,
Yeah.
like after the fighting is done, we still gotta go away, and they're gonna pursue us. So he was the one who actually opened the gate for them to escape, like the big floodgate on the base.
Wait, Sanji's the one that opened
He
it?
strategized that, you know, like why know before coming in, you know, like we gonna escape, you know.
Yeah.
So we have to like open the door. So he did some strategizing, and then at the end of the day, Mr. Two, Bon Clay, stayed behind and opened the gate for them. So he actually strategized that.
Oh, sorry, my mind just went to CP9, so I thought it's like in the bridge that he opens like some kind of contraption. He make use of some kind of contraption to open up the bridge. The gate, the bridge, what you're saying is. Oh,
They were escaping.
Oh, they
already.
were escaping.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, I got that. I got that part. I am so sorry because as you were saying that, like so many things just pops up, and I know it's like it's so hard to contain because
Right.
we just talk about like we just went from. I think it just went natural. We just went from like Zoro to talking about Sanji.
Sanji, yeah.
Of course, the next in line. Well, I don't know. I just somehow think of Usopp first before Nami does, and before Nami comes in. Going to Anus lobby. Going to Ines lobby. Okay, this is one part where, of course, this whole chapter, this whole story where we finally address the elephant in the room, which is Usopp not being able to feel that he can contribute.
Correct. He felt like that's it for him. Like
Yeah.
this is the extent of my abilities.
Yeah.
I don't know where I fit inside this group anymore.
Yeah, and the one guy, if I'm not wrong, is Sanji. You know, one guy who is sort of like always taking care of him, despite the fact that he's away, and as well as motivating him to come back. That was Sanji because the Aqua Laguna is coming, the big tsunami storm is coming, and of course Usopp was already separated, so. Sanji and Chopper have to purposely have this very loud dialogue that's not too far away from the ship so that he knows like, did you hear? Your Aqua Laguna is coming! So not only that, but the most memorable moment I want to talk about is the fact that Usopp was trying to fight this wolf, and there is no way he can fight this wolf guy. And then Sanji somehow was able to replace him. And Usopp was like saying like he can't really fight him. It's the maximum, his capabilities, and then Sanji said, don't bother saying all these things because different people have different ability.
Correct.
And you will have an ability that we weren't able to do. And the part that just really shows that is the fact that when Robin was dragged to the hesitation bridge and she was even using her teeth to bite onto a ledge so that she doesn't move to the ship, and then all of a sudden it seems like all hope is lost. This fire, this little ball of fire came shooting to Spandam or something like that.
Yeah. He was about to kill Robin really.
Yeah, he was about to kill, and we see that moment where Usopp is like sharpshooting from all the way from the end.
So far away.
So
He's
far
using
away.
a slingshot, goddammit.
That's like that's just how you do good story, man.
Yeah.
That's just how you do
Putting
good
the right
stories.
people at where they are most needed.
Yeah. So if you want to talk about like memorable moments, there's just so many. I want to segmentize it for a while. I want to like since we talk about characters, what's your favorite Luffy moment so far?
Okay, my favorite Luffy moment was when the flashback on where there were children, 3 of them, Sabo, Luffy, and Ace. And then this is the part where Luffy was trying to fit in with Ace and Sabo, but they don't accept him. So Luffy kind of found out that Ace and Sabo has a secret stash that they stole from other pirates.
Yeah.
And he saw the location and everything, and when they got caught, Luffy was caught and he was extorted for the information, but he lied. He didn't want to reveal that he knows where Sabo and Ace hid all those loot. And the way his face when he's lying, like his mouth just goes sideways, and it's like sweating, all this. I don't know, And the pirates clearly know he's lying, and they beat him up, but he still didn't betray Ace and Sabo. So for me, oh wow, that's where the brotherhood and the bond starts to be created, And I love that. It's like, oh, I didn't rat out my brothers.
Yeah.
And after that, they accepted him. So that's where they became like blood brothers.
That's I think that's usually how guys really become friends. I mean, like just life in general. It's romantic. The idea of that. You just have to go through like tough times, and you have to see like, how well do you stick with each other, and that's just how it goes, and that's fantastic. I don't exactly have like the most good moment. I mean, the memorable moment that I can say is like that I really like for Luffy at the moment. But I do have this one that just pops in my head, and it's as significant as ever. It's where they go to Red Line. I think before the Red Line, they go to this one little place that is supposed where the Mary Joes are there, the mermaid people are also there.
Right.
So that's where they met Silver Raleigh.
Ah,
Yeah,
okay.
I forgot what that whole place was all about.
Shambody Park?
Yeah, Shambody Park. So he was there, and the whole crew was there, and then all of a sudden Bartholomew Kuma comes in, but it's not the person. It's all the
The cyborg version.
no wait, it's that person. It's his final time of being a person.
Yeah. Correct.
And you talk about like Luffy always being able to protect his nakama, his nakama no matter what happens. But there's just no way the whole crew can fight against Bartholomew at the time. And as everyone starts to disappear and he starts to get frustrated because he has no idea where those people going. And then the last person before Luffy who gets swiped away was Nami.
Man.
And Eiichiro Oda did this one, maybe he or his team just draw it in a way whereby Nami is having tears and her hand is like
Reaching out.
Like,
Luffy, help.
Yeah. And then it just goes. And that's a very memorable moment because it's centered around Luffy and how he's unable to protect. And he's asking everybody to run.
Yeah.
And that's the thing I've never seen before. It's like he knows he is unable to protect.
them.
So his strategy was to ask everybody to run. And that whole shot before they get swiped away is the fact that everyone's abiding and they're all just running. Doesn't matter where they go, they're all just running. So that was
crazy.
That was crazy. I think we should probably rename to be a little bit much more specific to this podcast. It's not really memorable moments. It's more like each character's memorable moments. Yeah.
Oh man, I'm just gonna name like the moment in One Piece that makes you cry. That's more accurate.
Yeah.
Every time it's a tear-jerking moment.
Yeah.
Like it's those feels that One Piece gives you.
Yeah.
Damn, it's just so good. So yeah. Talking about like. Aside from Luffy and aside from Zoro, we talked about Zoro already. How about Sanji first? Because Sanji we didn't talk enough.
Okay,
like
alright.
we talk more about his contribution.
Yeah, we talk more about his contribution.
Yeah, but what about his deeds? That makes you like man, Sanji.
I like his origin story. Oh, sorry. I guess I should separate it to two different origin story because we have one that is him being part of his family, his real family, and one where he is in that the Barate ship in a restaurant. That one to me is just a really nice farewell, departing, tear-jerking moment because. We all have this one friends that I don't try to keep this kind of relationship with my real friends, where I call them assholes or, I'm not that kind of guy where I'll just look at you and say it's like, hey, fuckface,
Right.
I'm not that kind of guy. So Sanji and his, what's boss's name? Zeph. They are having this kind of love-hate relationship.
Yeah.
And then the time where Sanji is like walking out to join the Straw Hats and suddenly Zeph was like saying, hey, don't catch a cold.
Right.
And then Sanji just wells up. You know that? When you well up, you try not to cry, so you kind of hold on to your chin and you grip with it with your teeth. That just, wow.
There's a famous meme to describe what we're feeling. It's like there's three panels of showing like try not to cry. And cry a lot. So that's what we are doing. It's so fitting. That moment was very well done. He just couldn't contain it anymore. He's been putting up this manly face all that while. And then he just fell on his knees and bowed to Zeph and say like, thank you for taking care of me like all these years.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, so we probably have like one last question, right? So since you asked me that, so I gotta ask you that. To you, what is your most memorable Sanji moment?
Oh man, actually
That was it, right?
was
That
it.
that
That was crazy, man. It's sad, but in a happy way. You know, it's like you're so happy you cry.
Yeah, yeah.
You're so happy for him, you cry.
Okay, also another funny moment I gotta talk about Sanji is that my man Sanji is when Bartolomeo Kumar swipes throws everyone away. I don't know what's the word to use here. Basically he swings them away.
Yeah, it's just
Teleported them away.
somewhere.
And after the whole 2 years later thing going on, you kind of see everyone has this like improvement because they were sent to this island that helps benefit them.
Right.
I kind of don't remember what happened to Luffy. Luffy went to the Snake Island.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He trained with Silver Rider.
Silver Rally, and Zoro goes on the Mihawk, right? Which is so
Yeah.
fucking cool. You know, it's like holy shit. You know. Okay. I'll keep the excitement for next time. And then you see how all these people go to islands that are relevant to them, and then Sanji just goes into this.
Yeah, it's like he I felt like he got cheated.
Yeah.
He just went to this like Okama
Yeah,
island,
yeah.
everyone is cross-dresser.
Yeah, and they're all chasing him because he's like
they're all
so damn good
chasing
looking.
him, and apparently they're very good cooks, so they have like this secret recipe, and every time he gets to beat them, he earns the recipe.
Oh really? Oh, I don't remember that part.
Yeah, so he has to fight, I think, I don't know, 5 people or something like that. In the anime, they put more information in it, but in the manga, they just like wrote dialogues. So
I see.
yeah, you get to see a bit more in the anime.
I kind of like one skill that he got that I can think of immediately after he came out from the island was that he was running so much that he's now able to run in the air.
Yeah, that's so awesome. It makes, I don't know why, it makes so much sense. Like, you run so much with that willpower to get away, you can walk on the air.
Yeah.
That's just awesome, man. I mean,
That's just awesome. Okay, so that's pretty much the last question, and it's like I think we could possibly do a part 2.
yeah, I think there's gonna be a lot of parts, man.
Yeah, there's gonna be. I mean, like, and the thing is that One Piece is not just. I don't know. To me, One Piece has gone to a level like how Dragon Ball is,
Yeah.
and Doraemon, where it's just embedded into the culture, and so much so that one thing that's really exciting for us, all 3 of us, is that we're going to Japan again next year.
We're gonna visit the One Piece Museum.
Yeah, One Piece Museum.
Oh, man.
That's gonna be like so much to talk about.
Yeah, exactly. And even though I haven't gone there, it's like I feel like I'm gonna know everything. You know, I'm not gonna leave.
I think it's sort of like, you get to be part of that environment now. You gotta. I don't know. I didn't do a single damn research about it because I want to be surprised. But I was wondering if they. I know it's in the Tokyo Tower, so probably space is reserved. But I was wondering if they would build this one part of the ship and lets you be there, and see
that would be
Nami's
so cool.
orange trees,
What I heard from this place is from other people who went there, they say the play is very good. It doesn't make you feel that cringy feeling like, it's real people, like they act the way the manga does in real life.
Yeah.
It feels cringy, but they say, no, if you appreciate One Piece, you're going to enjoy it a lot.
That's fantastic.
So that's what I'm looking forward to the most.
That's fantastic. I'm going to be looking forward for the food as well.
Well, what type of food are they going to eat?
I don't know, maybe they will just like package things like this is cooked by Sanji or something.
Yeah.
So we're looking forward to go to One Piece Museum, and until then, maybe we'll see when we're gonna do the next One Piece part.